Another question was posed to me. Um, excuse me. What do you think that we, uh, as tribes of color, can do differently? Hold on, I want to get it right. What do you think we, as tribes of color, can do differently to create a different reality? That's what it was. Reality for ourselves. And that's real easy for me. We used to we used to celebrate each other's success. We used to come together as a family. We used to come together as a tribe. We used to come together as friends. We used to celebrate the success of one. If he got a new job, that was a success for all of us, because we understood that as a Native person, or if you identify yourself as African American, but whatever your plight was or whatever your ethnic background was, that the success of one was the success of all. There was no difference. When you look at the other ethnic communities, like the Jewish people, the Arab people, the you name them, the African people, the Asian people, when one succeed, they all succeed, and they enjoy in that success. We don't do that anymore. Native people don't do that no more. Indigenous people don't do that anymore. African Americans don't do that anymore. We don't rejoice in someone else's success. We become opposition to their success. I'm the best example of that. I'm the best example of that as a Yamassee Native American, truly identified throughout history, being who we are, color and all. Even within the Seminoles, or even within the Seminole people, the Seminole people, Mikosuki, we've always been identified with this color, skin tone and hue. So our battle has always been an uphill battle since the first interaction with the settlers. Uh, but what we do and what we did was we celebrated each other. We celebrated the manhood of a child, or a man, young boy turning into a man. That was a celebration that was celebrated amongst tribes. Tribes would come together and celebrate together. We don't do that anymore. What happens now is, if the Yamassee accomplished something that someone else or another tribe didn't accomplish, there has to be a catch to it. There has to be scrutiny behind it. There has to be ridicule behind it. There has to be a catch-22. Why? The example I would have is this book. This book here is the best example I have. This is the South Carolina Journey. This is the 8th grade history book. Don't even say 8th grade. This is a history book, because this history book is written like it's written for adults, okay? And in page 13, let me take that card out. In page 13 is me. It's me. And I'm not tripping on this. I'm not going to even let this is not an ego trip, but this is an actual real history book, okay? I didn't contact these people to ask them to put me in this. I didn't request it. I didn't research it. I didn't beg. I didn't do any of that for them to put me in there at all. They was doing a reference, obviously, on the Yamassee people. We are the people that you just can't. History has found its way around back to us. They cannot deny our presence, because we were so monumental in the foundation and creation of United States history. Yet we were the first ones they written out of history, a form of genocide, we like to say. I did an interview one time with a brother, and he had some more guests on, was Jay Nightwolf. He had some more guests on, and the brother used a word that was so dead on point, and I just can't remember it. But it was a writing out of people, which is nothing new. What we have is nothing new. But let me get back on point, that we used to celebrate. That book represents all people of color who was fighting for their Native American heritage. So whether you are a Creek freedman, whether you are a black Seminole, or identify as a black Seminole, whether you are Yuchi, whether you are Cherokee, all the people who are fighting now. I'll tone it down. All the people who are fighting right now for and to be recognized amongst other Native American tribes right now, people of color. This is a win for us. And I know it was a win for us because the people who are paler than ourselves, the people who have Native American blood that don't look like us, I know it was a success because it had other tribal people in this state at an uproar, want to know how did we get into it. Not that they celebrated, because that's what they should have celebrated, but because we aren't the same skin tone, okay? It brought them in an uproar. And that wasn't our purpose. But it also put people of color at an uproar. And that's the thing that we've forgotten how to do. We've forgotten how to all smile and rejoice, because if I'm in a history book, which is the first step, there's never been a person, modern day person today, identified as a Native American of our skin tone in today's day, in the 21st century, okay? Identified. That is a celebration, because that means the doors have been opened for other chiefs, other Native peoples to be identified and accepted. Not something for you to hate. When someone teaches hate, you have to question them. When someone teaches ridicule, you have to question them, because in other words, these are historians. These are archaeologists. These are people who it's their job to research and find accurate information. They didn't just haphazardly do this. They didn't just say, well, he looks the part, he looks good, let's put him in the history book. So when other people have something to say about that progress of a people, you know what it reminds me of? Before Martin Luther King and Malcolm X became Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, people of color, before Geronimo became Geronimo, before my grandfather Sam Jones became Sam Jones, the hero, do you know what they were? They were outlaws. They were shunned. They were headaches to mainstream society. They were the plague that they wanted to get rid of, because they understood their mentality, their mindset, and what they would create amongst people. And I'm not doing that at all. All I'm saying is our people need to be left alone and be free. But our people are ridiculed. And you know what happened? You know what happened? They're people who listened and took on the ways that were non-traditional, and took on the ways of our foreign allies and foreign enemies. When they took on them ways, those people who went against those warriors that tried to protect their people and protect our people, they talked about them. They tried to help hunt them. They enslaved their people, all to prove something to people who didn't care anything except for conquering us and taking our land. When you find people that are willing so easily to slander and talk about someone else, and they don't have the success, or they don't have the equal amount of success as they do, then that's jealousy. Because anyone that's true, I celebrate people. I celebrate their successes. I celebrate their accomplishment, whether they're considered a enemy or not of me. You know what I mean? Whether they hate me and hate my guts and hate my tribe guts. I love their success. I'm not on Facebook or any place like that, talking about them. They don't help my children eat. They don't affect my children eating. But when they accomplish something, I'm happy to see that, because I understand that being a win for all of us. That being a door opening that one day one of my sons may have to walk through that same door. One of my daughters may have to walk through that same door that they've accomplished. And I want the line of communication to be open so that we can go, or my children can go and ask them, how did you do this? Or if they don't even want to do that, ask. At least the door is open, and that Dave did something that I wasn't able to do. We don't celebrate no more. There is so much hate amongst people of color and tribal people right now. It's pathetic. It is really pathetic. We're so divided, it makes it easy to divide us. But we were also hypocrites, because one minute we're talking about the Great Spirit and the breath giver and all being children of God and humans and all of these different things, and in the next minute you're turning around and you're backbiting and you're direct messaging people, talking about another tribe and who they are and who they are not. How do you know? You don't know. You weren't raised around them. The only people who have the right to say that is people who've been raised around someone their whole lives. My mother can say what she wants about me. My father can say what he wants about me. My sisters, my cousins, my aunts, they can say what they want about me. But people who don't know you don't have the right. So our problem is we don't celebrate each other no more. We don't celebrate together. That's all I have to say about that.